You know, growing up, nothing compared to the excitement of getting your hands on a new book, especially when those books rolled right up to your front door. The Bookmobile has been bringing joy to kids for years, but the history behind it is a story of its own. Sharlee Glenn is the author of the new book, Library on Wheels. It's the story of the Bookmobile and the inventive, compassionate woman who set it all in motion. I am just thrilled to meet you this morning.
Thank you,
Congratulations. It's a beautiful book.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm very excited about it.
The second I saw the cover, read the title, it took me back. I mean, I can conjure up the smell of the Bookmobile as it pulled up to the west side of Bunderson Elementary. We would tumble out of the school. Everyone was so excited to go to this mobile library. How did you come across this story and this history?
So it's an interesting story, actually. I was doing research for a different book on America's first library, and in my research I ran across, in an obscure passage, the name Mary Lemus Titcomb, and I saw that she was credited with being the woman who invented the Bookmobile. And I've always been interested in women's history, and so I was immediately very intrigued, and I thought, what, a woman invented the Bookmobile? I've got to find out more about her.
Did you have your own childhood memories, Sharlee?
Absolutely. I had a very strong emotional connection to bookmobiles. I grew up in the Uinta Basin here in Utah in a very small farming community, and during the summer we had no access to books at all. We had no library, and so every 2 weeks the Bookmobile would pull up and park in front of R.G. Ross's farm, and we would come with literally bushel baskets that we would fill with books. And so, you know, my father was killed in a mining accident when I was very young. We didn't have a lot of money, not many opportunities. We didn't travel a lot, but I felt like the Bookmobile brought the universe to my feet every 2 weeks.
This Mary Titcomb, as you got to know her a little bit better through your research, she experienced several setbacks in pursuing this idea.
She did, yes. So she grew up, she was born in New Hampshire in 1852, and during that time, women, I mean, really the only careers open to women were pretty much teaching and nursing. And she grew up in a poor family, and she had a remarkable mother in particular who insisted, her family moved to Exeter, New Hampshire, so that her brothers could attend the Phillips Exeter Academy. And there also happened to be a school for girls, the Robinson Female Seminary, there in Exeter. And it wasn't usual at all for girls sometimes to go to school at all, especially from the working class or farming families. But Lydia, Mary's sister, and Mary wanted to go to school, so they attended the Robinson Female Seminary. And then as Mary's brothers began to establish careers, she said later in a newspaper interview, I wanted to do something too. So she wanted to make something of her life. And so she found it was a brand new burgeoning career called librarianship.
Wow, wow.
And so that's the direction she took. And yes, obstacle after obstacle, but she persisted.
And set out to form this library on wheels and put books in the hands of children all over.
Right.
Out of time, but I have to ask you, the book begins for Mary and all of the other unsung heroines of history. What makes Mary a hero, do you think, for our time?
Absolutely. I mean, honestly, she changed America's cultural landscape with the Bookmobile. It served over 50 million rural children. So
thank you for sharing just a little bit of the history. You'll find more wonderful stories like this in this beautiful coffee table book, Library on Wheels. It's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much.